Hello and welcome to Books, Curls, and Crafting, which are three of my favorite things. My name is Sherelle, but pretty much everybody calls me Rel. And if you're looking for me on Instagram, you can find me at It's Really Rel. So first, I want to start off by saying that I have a little bit of a cough, so please excuse that as we go along in this video. And also, my children are upstairs watching Hotel Transylvania, so that's kind of keeping them occupied. So hopefully, as I've said in pretty much every one of my videos, I'm going to try to get this done in one sitting. So let's see if it happens this time. So today we're going to start off with books. So the first book that I'm going to talk about today is by Zadie Smith, and it's called Swing Time. So this book is pretty interesting. It was a little bit difficult for me to get into it at first because I've done a whole lot of sci-fi for the past few books that I've been reading. So it's a bit of a change. It's nonfiction, it's set in London, and it's about the story of two girls who are best friends in their life from the time they're about like 7 or 8 years old up until they're adults. And I'll have to say that the main character comes off a bit as a hater. So she's calling this woman her friend throughout the story, but it's very clear that they do not like each other. And it's interesting because you always have these relationships, or you always see these relationships of people who really don't even like each other, but for some reason they're drawn to each other and they keep this connection, and even if it's broken over time, they somehow come back to each other. And that's kind of what this story is about. I'm not done with it yet. I would say I'm about 3/4 of the way into this story, and it's pretty good. But like I was saying before, I've come from reading heavy sci-fi for like the past 4 or so books that I've been reading, so it's a little bit of a transition for me, but it's very, very good read. Another thing that I wanted to note is that while I'm reading this story, there are some terms that are used that are like straight UK terms, like things that I don't know. Like there was Angel Delight, and I'm like, what the heck is Angel Delight? And from context clues, I could kind of guess that it was a dessert because the girls were eating it when they were younger. But I had to look it up and see what that was. So it's things like that that I noticed in the book where I find myself going and looking up different terms. But I do like the fact that it switches over from when they're little girls, and then it goes back to when they're adults. And it kind of feels like when a situation happens, when the main character is an adult, they kind of take it back to when she was younger to explain why she reacted to it in a certain way, and it makes sense, and it pulls things together. It spans continents, so it starts off in London, like I was saying before, so you're in Europe first, then they go to the US, at some point they're in New York, and then they're also in Africa. So it's a very interesting story, and I do recommend it. I'm not all the way done yet, so in the next episode, when I have finished this story, I will tell you exactly what I think about it as a finished read, as a done read. Okay, so the next story that I am currently reading is something I talked about before. It's Josephine Baker's Last Dance. So I had it as a library book in the past, and I had it on hold, and then I started to read like the first chapter, but then I had to take it back to the library because my time was up and somebody else wanted it next. So I found a website. Actually, I learned about it through Instagram. It was a sponsored post, and someone was talking about Chirp. So it's an app and a website where you can download audiobooks. But the great thing about this one is, and I feel like I'm doing a Chirp ad, but I'm not, because like I don't know them, but the website is awesome. So you download the app, and then they have a bunch of books that are like, some of them are under $5. So the Josephine Baker's Last Dance book, I actually downloaded that one for I think $3.99, which is awesome because the regular price for it, I believe, is like over $10. So basically what this website does is that they'll have promotions every other day where they're selling books for discounted prices. So I just wanted to show you all on my phone what I'm talking about. So if you can see it there, this app here is Chirp, and then this here is Josephine Baker's Last Dance. And I am on part 3, chapter 12, And it's very interesting. And I always knew that Josephine Baker had an amazing, extraordinary life. And I believe I talked about it before in the last episode where I mentioned Josephine Baker's Last Dance, but I wanted to read it because she was one of those historical figures that I just wanted to know a little bit more about, because whenever I think of Josephine Baker, I think of her singing. She's multilingual, so I remember hearing her sing in English and French, and I always thought that was just so amazing, like how she could just switch it up from one language to the next and sound so beautiful while she was doing so. So in this story, you learn about her past, and she was severely abused in her childhood, which is something like I would have never known. But she was severely abused in her childhood, and when she grew up, she always knew she wanted to sing and dance, and that's something that she would always do when she was younger. But what I didn't know was that she didn't start off as a singer, and that's what I've known Josephine Baker as a singer. But she started off as a dancer and in the far background. It wasn't until she went to France where she became famous and she started to explore other areas. And this story talks about the hardships that she encountered in both the U.S. and in France, but it talks about those hardships that she encountered trying to get to the place that she ultimately ended up in her career. And she is a legend. So I also think it's interesting because whenever I read stories set in this time frame, this is like the early 1900s, before 1950, so it's all early 1900s. Whenever I hear stories about this time frame, especially with regards to African American legends and African American writers, I always hear them talking about things in relation to them living in the United States. But Josephine Baker made a point of leaving the United States because she didn't want to deal with all of the segregation and the things that African Americans had to deal with during that time. And, we still kind of deal with some of those things present day, but that's a whole nother story. But it was really interesting to hear what she had to say about the United States during the time that she lived there and the reason why she left and stayed away. So I'm not all the way done with that story, but it is really good. And I also love audiobooks now. Like, I've only listened to one audiobook before this one. That was Becoming by Michelle Obama. This is my second one, and I will have to say that I think that I might be hooked. So the way that I'm listening to them is on these earbuds. I don't know if you can see that, but they're called Studio. And Studio, this is wireless earphones. And they are so awesome. So this is the case here. And it came with this little charging station. It's the sweetest little cutest thing. So they have so many different colors. I believe they had pink, white, black, and then there was like a light blue color, like a turquoise color. Of course I picked pink because it was the closest to purple, but they're so cute. So this is the little charging station for them. And these are the earbuds. Aren't those so cute? Look at that. These are the little earbuds. So they come with different size, I guess these little plastic things that go inside your ear. They come with different sizes. I have a tiny ear hole, which is what I found out because of these. But I had to change the little plastic knobby part right here. It came with, I think, maybe 4 of them, so you can pick which one fit best for you. The other one, it was just falling out. And at first I'm like, okay, well, these earbuds aren't that great because they keep falling out my ear. But once I changed the little plastic nubby part and put it in there, they stay in so well. So I really love them. And they're kind of discreet because when you put them in there, you can't even see them really. Like, yeah, so you can't really even see them. But they're pretty awesome. And I have a discount code. So if you are interested in purchasing these earbuds in the future, I will make sure that I put my coupon code as well as the website in the description box so that you can purchase them also, because these are amazing. So that's what I've been using to listen to my audiobook, Josephine Baker's Last Dance. And I also use it to listen to iHeartRadio when I'm at work, but mostly for listening to audiobooks. So really right now, those are the 2 books that I have. I'm going to be going to the library after I finish recording this video, so I'll have some more books. But that's pretty much it right now. I did take out some books by an author named Karen Lord. I found out about her. I believe she was mentioned in the Well-Read Black Girls book, and it was one of the books referenced. So I went to the library, checked out some books by Karen Lord, and I will be honest, I really wasn't feeling it. Karen Lord is a sci-fi writer. She's an African-American sci-fi writer, and I thought that I would like it, but I did not. It was called The Galaxy King, and I read like maybe 3 chapters, and it just did not sit with me. It was just too much description, and I love a good world building, but it just felt like it was just too much information and not enough story for me. So I didn't really like this. So I'll be taking those books back, renewing Swing Time so that I can continue reading that one, and then possibly going and picking up some more books from my Goodreads list. So if you have read any of the books that I've mentioned, Swing Time, or if you read Josephine Baker's Last Dance, please in the comments, please tell me what you think about them. And if you have a audiobook like website preference or anything like that, please let me know, because I would love to hear what you have to say. And before I start talking about books, I don't want to forget, November is coming up. So I am going to be participating in Nonfiction November. So if you are interested in that, please give me some nonfiction recommendations. I would really appreciate that. And if you want to do this together, because we should all hold each other accountable and all cheer each other on in these tasks, please feel free to let me know if you want to start a hashtag for Nonfiction November with me, because this is going to be really good. I'm excited. So we're going to move on to curls. So I really don't have a lot to share when it comes to curls, because for the past 2 weeks or so, I've been wearing my hair in more of a flat iron state. But because the way my hair is and the fact that it loves to revert back to its curly phase, it really didn't stay straight that long. So I'll share a picture of what it looked like the first day, but towards the end, it was more like this big, fluffy, puffy cloud on the back of my head. But what I will share is that I am now a ambassador, or I guess you could say ambassador. That wasn't exactly the words used, but I love Wonder Curl products, and now I am on the Wonder Curl team. So I'm a Wonder Curl team member. There you go. That sounds better. So this right here is the moisturizing hair pudding. So I'm pretty sure you've heard me rant and rave about the Get Set jelly, because that's like my all-time favorite gel ever in life. But the moisturizing hair pudding is really great, and right now we're doing the challenge. It's a 1 product challenge. So what we're going to do is do our hair with 1 product and see how long we can keep that style moisturized without reapplying. So I want you guys to tell me what you want me to do. Do you think maybe I should do a 2-strand twist, or do you think that I should do a wash and go, a 1 product wash and go? I don't know, so you let me know what you think. I'll do a poll on my IG stories to see what you think also, but I think I'm leaning towards the 2-strand twist because I want to see how that's going to work. So, oh, and don't let me forget, the way that I have my hair right now, I am using the moisturizing hair pudding in my hair right now, and I also have a puff cuff. So let's not forget about puff cuff. And we all know that if you use my coupon code, which is really real, you'll get 15% off. And also you get 15% off of Wonder Curl, also using the same thing, really real. I'll share everything in the description box. Let me fix my hair back up. Let me puff it back up. Yeah, so I will share websites and coupon codes all in the description box so you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But that's really all I have for hair right now. So once you guys let me know what you would like to see, 2-strand twists or some other type of protective style, I will record a tutorial for that. I'll record a natural hair tutorial for that. So let me know what you think. Whew, sure. So before we move on to anything else, I just want to share this with you guys. So for, I say maybe like 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, Reese was feeling sick. He started having a little cough. And it just was lasting and lasting and lasting. And I'm babying him and, you know, catering to him. My only thing was, do not get me sick with you, please. I don't want to be sick with you. Fast forward to now, I got the same cough that he had. So bear with me, please. Anyway, we are going to move on to crafts. So let me tell you, this past month or so has been very, very interesting for me. So last episode I talked about the Collegiate Cardigan by Erika Knight that I was making for my brother-in-law. And right now at this point, I'm not going to bring it out because it's in pieces right now. The way that the thing is constructed is a front, is 2 front sides, a back, 2 sleeves, and then a collar. So there's a lot of pieces to it, and I have not put them together. But right now, I am on the last piece, which is the 2nd sleeve, and then we are donezo with this sweater that has been taking me forever and a day to complete. But it's coming out so beautifully, and I really think that Eric is gonna love it. Eric's my brother-in-law. I really think he's gonna love it, and it should be done this week. But you know what? Every week I say it should be done this week, but it's really gonna be done this week. So there's the Collegiate Cardigan, which is what I'm working on now. Hold on a second. Hey guys, shush. Love you. Okay, I'm back. So the Collegiate Cardigan by Erika Knight. Then I was working on my droplet capelet, and I finished it. So this is my droplet capelet. And I feel like I'm going to be all over the place in this video, so please bear with me because I was so excited about this. So I finished this one, and I was extremely excited about it. I felt like I made it specific for me, exactly how I would love it. And I say this often, patterns are strong suggestions. You don't have to do every single thing that it's asking you to do. And when I began to use patterns, I used to feel like these were things I had to do. Whatever was in a pattern, I felt like I had to follow those directions. But that is not the truth. So if you have a pattern that calls for one color, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to do one color. That is the suggestion of the designer. So I am a person who loves many, many colors, especially purple. So when I saw the droplet capelet and I saw that it recommended just one color, I said, well, wouldn't it be more lovely? Wouldn't it be more me if I had 2 different types of purple in this droplet capelet? So I chose 2 different colors. So this one is a darker purple, and this one is more of like it's like a light mauve color. But I love both equally, and I really enjoyed making this. This lighter purple is from Backyard Fiberworks. I believe the color is is UME, and the bottom is also from Backyard Fiberworks. And this one, I believe, is called Blackberry. I believe that is called Blackberry. Either way, I love the way that it turned out. And I actually wore this on last Saturday when I went to New York Sheep and Wool Festival. So I felt so fancy, and I got a lot of compliments on it. So this droplet capelet was designed by excuse me, by Denise of Bayron Handmade, and I will also put a link to that just in case you want to make your own droplet capelet. So in addition to the color change, I also made mine a bit longer. I saw some ladies there and their capelet kind of came here, but you know I gotta be a little bit more extra, so I add a little bit more length to mine. So that was the one that I finished. I really enjoyed making this. It's made a lace pattern. Please excuse me, I'm not clearing my throat. But there's lace in here. It's a very simple repeat that you have to pay attention, don't get me wrong, but it's not the type of pattern where you feel like every small thing that you're doing, you have to constantly pay attention to every single thing. I think that once you get into the groove of it and you remember what you have to do, it becomes a little easier for you. And if you're the type of person who's afraid of lace, don't be. Let me tell you, Denise recommends putting in a lifeline. I didn't put in a lifeline because I felt like I didn't need one. But I took this over to my mom's house. My aunts were there, and my mom loves to craft too. So my aunts and my mom were crafting. I took this over with me. And one of my aunts, my Aunt Mina, picked it up and dropped a bunch of stitches off. Now, we're not talking about dropping stockinette. We're talking about dropping lace. And I will say that this taught me how to fix a drop lace stitch, which I had no idea I would be able to do. But I just knew that I didn't want to pull this back. Like, that would just be insane to pull it back. And I couldn't be mad because I can't be mad at my Amina. She didn't mean to do it. She's like the sweetest person ever in the world. So it was nothing I could do, no one I could blame. Fix it. That was the whole thing. And I learned how to fix lace. So if you are the type of person who is a little bit nervous about stepping into knitting lace or using needle sizes that are less than like a 6, which I used to be that type of person. I thought lace wasn't for me, and I couldn't imagine myself stepping away from chunky yarn because I really love chunky yarn. But this is the perfect pattern if you're someone who wants to learn how to do lace, who wants to step into that and take a leap into lace, because it's not difficult at all. And if I can do it, I know you can do it. So go right in, and I'll put a link to the Droplet Cakelet Ravelry page on my description box. Next, I want to share a couple of things that I purchased at the New York Sheep and Wool Festival, better known as Rhinebeck. So I went to, this was called the Bumblebee Acre Fiber Farm. So this is the yarn that I picked up, and I'm going to tell you right now, Bumblebee Fiber Acres, I haven't heard of them before. This is my first time seeing them at Rhinebeck, but when I say that their yarn stuck out to me because there were so many different colors and there were so many different choices. There was speckled, there was finger weight, there was DK, there was so many options. And one of the cutest things I saw about them is that they had different themes for each one. And the theme for this one that I purchased was Outlander. So it was inspired by the show Outlander. And I keep hearing things about Outlander, especially in the knitting community. People really love Outlander. It's getting to the point where I'm like, all right, you know what? Let me just watch it and see what the hype is about. But this is beautiful. So it's a lavendery purple with blue and turquoise and a little bit of dark blue in there. I'm just in love. And it's squishy DK. So this is superwash, 75% merino, 25% nylon. And I have, let's see, how many yards do I have here? Does it say how many yards? 246 yards. So I have 2 of those. And they're just so beautiful. So I can't wait to turn these into little cake babies. I can't wait. It's going to be so beautiful. So this, once again, is from Bumblebee Acres Fiber Farm. And I will share the information in my description box as well. But just, let me just love them just a little bit longer. Alright, that's enough. So next, what I purchased at the New York Sheep and Wool Festival, which let me just say I didn't really purchase a lot. So I bought the yarn and then I purchased a bag, which I'm going to share with you guys. But I spent the majority of the time there just people watching, yarn touching, picture taking, hugs having. Just, it was an amazing time. I really enjoyed myself. And this is my second time going. The first time I was a bit more overwhelmed because I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I heard about it and I figured it'd be a nice thing to see how it would be because I've been to both knitting and the New Jersey Sheep and Wool, so I figured let me try this one out. But this, so many people. I mean, it was just smacked up. It's like Disney World for yarnies. So I went with my entire family. The plan was to get a babysitter so that it'd just be me and Reese, but that did not work out for us. So it was everybody. We were all there. But there are things for kids too. So the kids love seeing the dogs. There were sheep dogs there. There were dogs doing tricks. There was a lot of food. The vendors were awesome. A lot of things to touch. Nobody's gonna tell kids to stop touching things. Oh, and the sheep were just the cutest ever. So Evie, she just named all the sheep Ricky, and she just was like petting them, and it was just an amazing time. So the next thing that I purchased was this bag here from Neighborhood Fiber. Now their location is in Baltimore, and I wanted to go and visit them because Baltimore is not too far from where I am. I'm in New Jersey, so it's about like a 2-hour ride rough. But I found them at the New York Sheep and Wool Festival, and I had to get this bag. So I actually saw someone else there. I can't remember who it was that I was talking to. But she had this bag, and she told me where to find them, and I ran over and got them. I wanted to hurry up before I missed out. But isn't this nice? Now, I heard her name is Vivian, but I may be wrong. But then she has all this yarn in her hair, and it's purple, and this is just amazing. So I'm in love with it. But this bag has a backpack type straps on the back of it. A whole lot of space for all your yarn and your projects. And I am very happy with this purchase. So the last thing that I want to talk to you all about is a project that I've been working on for a minute. It is the Dina Chunky Ear Warmers. So this is my first knit design, and I am sharing it for the first time on Ravelry. And I'm really excited about it because this is a pattern that is very dear to me. About 3 or 4 years ago, somewhere along those lines, my younger sister asked me to make her an ear warmer, and she had this idea in her head, but she said she wanted to make sure that the bow was extra jumbo, like she wanted a really big bow. And after that, I created this item for her, gave it to her, and she really loved it. And I offered it in my Etsy shop, and it just became so popular in my Etsy shop. A lot of people wanted this, and I would knit it up and then line it with satin, and it was my biggest seller. And I decided, why don't I share this? And I named it after my sister. So her middle name is Dina, and this is the Dina Chunky Ear Warmer after my younger sister. So if you are interested, if you want something that is a quick knit, it knits up really quickly. It's a nice gift, or it's something that you can make for yourself. It's knit with size 6 chunky yarn and size 11 circular needles. I will put the link to the Ravelry page for my Dina Chunky Ear Warmer. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.